Hi, my name is Sara. Let's talk about human error and system failures in the context of defense in depth for our INSS test submission. So, the first thing about defense in depth, like it's a strategy that organizations implement to protect their systems and networks from attacks in every context, like right? So when you are trying to protect a system, you can't just put like one security measure into place. You need to have a lot of different things. So this could include like firewalls, encryption, biometrics, IDS and IPS, and all that kind of stuff, because there's a lot of different vulnerabilities and attacks in today's threat landscape. And then you need to take appropriate measures against that. But even though organizations are doing all of this, they're still susceptible to human error. So the thing with human error is, so this is like the compromise of data and other like things in the organization, and this usually happens because of the insiders, right? And the thing with employees are that they're a liability and an asset at the same time, because they handle a lot of data and then they're making a lot of decisions. And that's why if they make like a careless decision, an incorrect assumption, or if they don't have enough experience, or if they're just careless or something like that, this either like if they don't have proper training, so this really leads to like data loss in the organization. And if they could like reveal like unclassified classified data, they could store information in the wrong place, and they could accidentally like delete or modify files. So the keyword here is like accident, because it's not intentional. Like all of this happens accidentally, and like no amount of security measure that you put in place could prevent this from happening. In week 5, we really talked about how like even though you have a lot of security measures in place, it still doesn't prevent attacks, because like programmers can make mistakes as well, and system protection can fail, and redundancy is a good thing. But in this context, like it addresses technical failure, which is like a patching gap or like a single point of failure in a network, but it doesn't really address like human decision making. In week 1 and 3, we talked about social engineering. And it really goes to show like no matter how many security measures you have, whatever firewall you put, if your employee or like someone in your organization has been duped by social engineering techniques, it doesn't keep like attacks and stuff out. And in week 4, week 3, sorry, we really discussed like Trojan programs, and how like when firewalls detect these kind of programs, they consult the user of the system and ask them like, oh, like should we take action? So if there's not enough like proper training, so this could like easily backfire, like you see. So in week 4, we talked about security gap, right? And then we discussed like the difference between controls that are in place and controls that are needed. So causes listed are like dominated by human factors for these kind of attacks, which could be like a lack of security training, intentional or like negligent disregard of security policies, or unauthorized changes to hardware and software without proper risk analysis. So no matter like your technology may be sound, but if the people operating it aren't skilled enough, this could lead to error. And in week 4, we also discussed BYOD policy, which is a really good point, because like while BYOD really helps organizations save a lot of money and resources, it could lead to like exposure of organizational data if employees aren't handling it correctly on their devices. So the thing with the to like conclude, defense in depth really isn't like a fail strategy. It's very effective, but organizations shouldn't fully rely on it and should focus on humans as well. So if there's some like misconfiguration in like the control policy, or an employee who falls for like phishing or social engineering techniques, this really affects the organization badly, because humans support technology. And that was all for this test. Thank you.